Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Merry Christmas. Is
I
today
know.
Christmas?
It's Christmas Day when this is being posted, and Merry Christmas
And you
Day.
wore the right sweater for it.
I
Look, you're
have
all
it on.
festive. You did it right.
I got my Christmas trees on. I got a little sparkly tree right
There
here.
you go. There you go. Very
And if you're
pretty.
watching it afterwards, Happy New Year.
Yes. Happy New Year. Hopefully you had a wonderful Christmas. We are very excited to be with you. I am Betsy Kreider. I'm with BCreative Stamping.
And I'm Mary Ellen Stites, and I'm with Create With Me.
We are here today to show you our Stamp It Your Way class. Stamp It Your Way is a kit that you can get every month. We include, we do 4 different projects. You get enough cardstock and supplies to make 2 of each of those projects. And we also include products so that you can make even more at home. And the great thing about this class is that it's Stamp It Your Way. We call it that on purpose so that you can be stamping at home your way. You don't necessarily have to do it the same way we do, but we're here to show you how we do it, but you can always make it your way at home, right?
For sure, for sure. And if you are watching and you haven't subscribed and gotten the packet, stay tuned because we give you the measurements. You should be able to duplicate these cards fairly closely, but like Betsy said, it's Stamp It Your Way. So we hope you'll enjoy these cards that we have for you today. Betsy humored me the other day and she said, can you even make a card that's not a fancy fold? And I'm just going to admit my 2 cards are fancy folds. I don't know, Betsy. I think I'm on a little fancy fold kit. You know,
She is. It's a struggle for her. The whole concept when we talked about creating, we've been doing this since 2020. We've been doing this class on a monthly basis, and in the beginning it was like try to keep it simple, try to keep it, let's pare it down. Mary Ellen cannot do it. She just cannot. It's physically, mentally impossible.
On my behalf, I will say that. I was just saying, these cards are quick and easy. I feel like they're quick and easy. I think that they're quick and easy, but fun.
They are, and they're wows. I mean, I will give you that. They are wows. They are cards that I wouldn't have thought to come up with. I am so boring in comparison to you. It's just not, but it's nice because your style and my style are very different, and we complement each other, I think.
Oh, I think they're going to totally enjoy your one project because it's not a card. And that's what makes it fun. And this is and the project that you're doing, they can use it throughout the year for all kinds of gift giving. So I am excited to
easily change it.
See how you do that too. So yeah,
absolutely,
super excited. So you ready to get started? Oh, we got to talk about something. It's the end. We
do. Yeah. So this is the end of. We're getting into the end of December. We're getting into the end of the current catalog that we have, which is the August to December catalog. Some people call it the holiday catalog. It's the one that has the Christmas and the fall in it. That catalog is retiring. Now, Stampin' Up! Is changing the way that they're working their retirement. It used to be that like on January 6th, which is the end of the catalog this year, January 6th, you can't get that catalog anymore. Like anything in that item, that catalog is now gone. It's officially retired and no longer available. Stampin' Up! Is going to change that a little bit this time. And I'm actually very excited about how they're doing this. Right. It's like, I can't imagine why we haven't been doing this all along.
It's an exciting change. And it's
very much so.
I love it. Like
we are now going to have what's called the last chance list. So when you get into the online store for Stampin' Up, when you click on specials at the top, you'll see last chance list. That is going to show you all products that are while supplies last. That is the last chance for those products. Some of them might be discounted. Some of them might be at full value. That is going to be updated every other month. That you're going to see new items coming in or items now getting a discount that didn't have before. There's all kinds of search features under there for you to find. But all the things that are going to be last chance will now be in that list. And you definitely want to check that list out when you get into the website because things that we're showing you today might be in that last chance. And once they are discontinued and they're no longer on that list, they're gone forever. So they'll keep product now until it truly is gone, which is great.
It's really great. It really is, because then product's not just, taken off the list and then it's sitting there. So we can still
Mhm.
grab it while it lasts. But if you want something, get it, because there are a few things that have already sold out, and the catalog as of this date is still
Yeah.
live.
Mhm.
So
Yeah. But it also gives them the opportunity to, kind of work off the fly. Whereas like those peppermints, those silly, crazy little peppermints have been so insanely popular that they come in, they sell out in the same day. They come in, they sell out the
yeah,
same day.
I
Well,
have
the nice thing
some.
is aren't they adorable? Yes.
There's
We
look
used
at
those last
this is
month.
all I have left. I'm like
Yeah.
hoarding them now. I don't even want to. I'm like, oh.
But I think that gives Stampin' Up the ability to reorder those and keep bringing those in because they know that they're a popular item versus them being retired and not being able to offer them anymore. Now it might be something that they just continue to offer. They might stay in the last chance, but they might be something that they continue to just kind of have available for a little bit longer, which is
Yeah,
kind of nice.
it's gonna be super
Mhm.
nice.
Yeah, so check that out. It's on the on our. If you have not, if you don't have a demonstrator, obviously Mary Ellen and I are happy to help you. You can go to stampinup.com and search for one of us. I'm in Reedsville, Pennsylvania. She is in St. Joseph, Illinois. And you can search by zip code. You can search by name, things like that. And then once you find a web demonstrator, then you can search by specials and then last chance list.
Yep. Yep.
Excellent.
Yep.
Okay. So today we're going to show you the nests of winter. If that's what
Yeah.
it's called, right?
The Nests of Winter Sweet
Sweet.
collection. And then the
Yes.
bundle is called Winterly Treetops.
Winterly
Right.
treetops. Yeah. It's a funny story. I went today like looking for it and I'm looking for nests and I'm like, oh, I had like slight panic moment of where's my stamp? Where are my dies? I can't find these. Oh my gosh, Mary Ellen's going to want to record today and I can't find any of my stuff. Forgetting the fact that it was under W for West for winterly. I
Winterly.
did not catch that. So yeah,
Yeah, so I'm super excited because it's all about birds and the
there
nest.
you
And
go.
if you don't know, this studio is called The Nest. So I love all things birds and I'm excited about it.
It's
So
perfect for us.
I'm ready to show. I'm ready to
You
show.
ready? All right, we're
Yeah.
gonna switch you down to Mary Ellen's desktop and let's roll. Let's do it.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, so we are still working on the mini catalog as we talked, the September to December mini catalog. And on page 30 and 31 is where we are doing our projects from. So the suite is called Nests of Winter, and then the bundle with the dies, the stamp set and the die are called Winterly Treetops. So here's the beautiful, I mean, they have gorgeous samples. I mean, it's just beautiful. So let me show you what comes in the suite, and then I'll tell you what people who subscribe got. So of course the Winterly Treetop stamp set. It's got a couple different bird
They're
images and
so
then
cute.
yeah, I really, I've said this before. I love it when there's both images and words. I just do. I really like it because, a friend like you brings me happiness.
Yes, I
Then
do. I bring you happiness every gosh darn
yes,
day.
yes, yes, you do. So here are the dies. Some cut, and what's nice too is some of the dies cut out the images that are on the paper. So keep that in mind. But there's the little pussy willow and a little branch, and for the little swag here, I guess you'd call it a swag, or
Yep.
and then this fun background, then there's a couple of the pine branches, but I don't know that we really use this, but you can go online and find all kinds of fun things using this in the regular die cut and then in the negative. There's been some really fun things where they've done the negative and then brushed it, and that's really, really fun. So that's the bundle. And then you also get these earth tone shimmer gems. So there's the colors here. There's a little earth tone and they've got a little shine to them. You can see them sparkle just a little bit. Then I'm really digging, Betsy and I both talked about how much we love linen thread. This is Natural Tones linen thread. This is in the, I think I don't think it's Night of Navy, is it? It's Misty
I think
Moonlight is
so.
what I want to say. It's one of
I
the
think
two
it's
blues
navy.
and then a Cajun Craze and then Garden Green. So we're going to use those today and we're going to use the gems. And then it comes with this big 3D folder. It's a birch folder. And it's beautiful. I don't know, this doesn't look great here. I don't have a dark piece of paper, but you'll
I
see
can
it
see
on
it
one of
pretty
my
well.
cards. Yeah, you'll see it
Yeah,
on
I
one of
can
my
see it.
cards. But as usual, I always feel like the paper can sometimes be the star of the show. So these images, you can fussy cut them. On the projects I'm doing, you can either stamp and cut and color, or you can just cut them out of the paper. And on the other side, there's just fun patterns. And then here's some little birds. It's a little basic beige type of colors with the pine cones, and then a nice garden green. This is one of my favorites. This is the one I think you can cut with the dies. And
Mm-hmm.
the other side is a little pool party pattern. And there are just a couple more here. Whoops. This one here, I'm going to be using, I think we're both using this one with the, it's got
Mm-hmm.
little birds on it. And then the other side is this little kind of Queen Anne's lace with little birds on it. And then this is fun. This is fun if you're going to do like your card fronts, you could cut it in half and then cut it in. You've got your card basically done. Add your greeting. And then here's a little bird print. That doesn't show up too good, but it's super, super cute. And then the last one is the Pussy Willows. And the other side is a just kind of the birch bark. So love, love, love it. This paper is so beautiful. So let me set it aside and we'll go get started with the
So what
project.
did they get? What did they get in their packet though?
Oh, I'm so
If you
sorry.
purchased their Stamp It Your Way kit, what did they get?
So what they got was they got half a pack of this beautiful Nest of Winter um, designer series paper, and they got a package of the natural tones linen thread in their kit. Is that correct? I don't think
Yep.
we. I
And then
think
they
we did.
also got a full pack of dimensionals.
Oh yes, and
Yeah.
dimensions. I'm so sorry.
Because
That one just jumped away from me. But yeah, we didn't.
yeah,
We included these in your packets, but not in. You did not get a whole pack like
right.
sometimes you do. We decided that this was really most important. So
Yeah. And who can't use dimensionals all the time, right?
all the time, yes,
All the time.
I use it on both of my cards. I think so. In the well, let's just talk. Let's talk about the elephant in the room a little bit. So, we talked about the last chance list, and so one of the things that went on the last chance list and then has retired since before that we're recording is these deckled circle dies. We really, really hope that you grab them while you could, because these are just going to be indispensable in your crafting. So, we did not know when we designed these cards that that was going to happen. So just letting you know that that is why we're using these, is because this was already done pre. So this is the second to the biggest deckled circle, and I've cut it with basic beige, and it's about 5¼ inches. And then this is the third. It just layers, just a little. See how that just layers? And this is in basic white, and then the designer series paper is in the same as the third circle down. So what you're going to need is you're going to need one of the 5¼ and then two of the 5-inch, one in white and one in designer series paper. And the white and the designer series paper will be enough for both of your cards. So you're going to cut this in half. We're going to use half. So just keep that in mind. And then you're going to have a piece of basic white to cut and stamp your, stamp and cut out your greeting. And I use A Friend Like You Brings Me Happiness. And I just took my snips and I just cut that. So I did that in advance. Now, you can decide on this card if you want to use stamping and coloring, or just take some of these beautiful, I just cut out some of these
Nice.
images. They're
Very
so
nice.
beautiful. So
Yeah.
on this card, I'm actually going to use, some of the designer series paper. And then on my second card, I'm going to do coloring. But you could do this, you could do either of these options on both of my cards. And I'm sure probably the same for Betsy. So
You can. Yes.
I'm going to keep this one. This is the one that I've decided I'm going to use. And I'll show you how fast this card goes together. So we're going to take the largest, the basic beige deckled circle. You could just try to fold this in half. I like to take my cutting blade out of the way And then I know it's, oh, maybe I am better off if I just fold it in half. Let's see. If you're really lucky, you can find the exact half. This is probably just a little easier to do it like that. But on these 5-inch, both of these, I just take it, it's 5 inches. I go to the 2.5-inch mark right here, and I am going to cut that in half. So I've got 2 halves, and I'm going to do the same thing with my designer series paper. This is the decision you have to make. Do I want my paper to run this way, or do I want it to run this way? It's here nor there. I'm going to have it run this way, so I'm going to turn it 90 degrees. I'm going to take it to the 2.5-inch, and then I'm going to cut that in half. And I can set these aside because I only need half for this card. Okay, so we're done with the paper trimmer. And so this is how quick and easy it goes together. We're going to adhere the designer series paper to the card. There's a special name for this card. It's called I'm going to call it a rocker card. And it's fun because when it sits on your desk, it just sits like this, and it can rock back and forth, or it can just sit open. It's kind of a 3D, but you can also go up above this because you've got 4 1/4 that you can use to go inside your envelope. So before I go ahead and put the white in my card, I'm going to go ahead and stamp it. And I'm just going to use a little, I'm going to use this. It's not on my tutorial, but I'm going to use it just to stamp a little early espresso. I use it on my second card. You can use anything you want. And then I'm going to take the little, this is light petal pink. And I'm just going to color my little Pussy Willows a light petal pink. And that will go on the inside of my card. Just like this, and I go all the way up to the fold, and then I just go equidistant on both sides in case you're wondering, well, how do you get it centered? You know, push it all the way to the top. Now, before I go ahead and add my bird and my greeting, I'm going to go ahead and use the twine, and I'm going to use the Night of Navy twine, and I'm going to wrap it around here twice. Just like this, going all the way inside my card. And then I'm going to get my snips and just give it a little snip. And then I'm going to tie mine in a bow. If you don't love to tie a bow, we've always said, go ahead and tie a knot. It's completely up to you. I like the bow on some things. If it's a masculine card, a lot of times I won't tie a bow. If I'm going to send this to a guy, I might just tie a knot. And that is just personal preference. That just goes back to my old florist days, I think. Boys do not wear bows. So I don't.
They wear bow ties.
Bow ties. But I mean, when you're doing like a boutonniere, boutonnieres do not have bows. They always have just a little, just the flowers and no. Okay, so I'm going to leave it like that. I'm going to go, I told you I was going to use little dimensionals. I'm going to use dimensionals on my greeting. And I'm going to pop it up. Just like this. Then, because I have my grid paper here, I'm going to move it like this. Okay, so I want to use my grid paper or a ruler, which I've got a ruler right here. I could use a ruler just to make sure that when I add my birds, that I am making sure I'm staying within the 4 1/4 so that my project will will fit in my envelope. So, and then I'm kind of guide my finger to show where I can put dimensionals. You don't have to put dimensionals. You could just glue this directly to your card, but I'm going to use a couple dimensionals. And I am going to just take my bird. I'm going to make sure I'm staying within my 4 1/4. That's kind of not too hard to do. It's pretty cute. So then we'll finish it off with some of the gems, and I'm going to use these light ones right here. I'm just grabbing a paper piercing tool because that's what I have. And I think I'm just going to use, oh, no, I think I'm going to use these little darker. This is more of a beige. And I'm going to add, this is how fast this goes together.
It is super cute.
Super
And you, like you
fast.
said, you could change any of the birds on the front, make it any color that you want. It doesn't necessarily have to be like a Christmassy or wintry kind of. It could just be any bird.
That's
Yeah.
right. So I have one here. I didn't put it together, but see how this base, and then you could pull in one of
Mhm.
these that are like yellow. That could be really
Yeah.
pretty with this Lost Lagoon and pool party look.
Sure.
You know, because we always talk about our school colors. We've got orange and blue for the Fighting
Mhm.
Illini, who absolutely just won the bragging rights game today. I'm just saying in basketball.
Woo-hoo!
So that's something we play against Missouri, and it's always fun to be the winner. And today we
Woo-hoo!
won. So it was a close game, but we pulled it off. So this is really fun because see, I wish I had a camera so you could see it rocking, but it just rocks on your desk just like that. So that's card number one.
That's super
But like
cute.
I said, you could
Yeah,
stamp
and
and
not
color.
hard.
No, not hard at all. I mean,
Yeah.
just you could use this for anything. This would be a
Mhm.
great kids card. Like not this design, but if you had kids, a kids design, what kid doesn't
Mhm.
love something that's moving like that? I
Very
think
cute.
that they would love it. Okay, so card number two, and like I said, these are going to go together really, really quickly. Here is my second fancy fold. This is going to be a card base. I'm going to I want to get my measurements out here for you. This is card base of 8.5 by 5.5. You're going to need a piece for the inside, just a basic white. That is 5 1/4. Wait, 5 1/4 by 4. I just drew a blank. 2 pieces of pumpkin pie. In this case, I'm using pumpkin pie. 4 1/4 by 3 and 5 1/4 by 1 7/8. Then a piece so you can stamp and cut out your bird. Um, and then you'll need to cut from your designer series paper that you got in a kit a piece that fits inside of the pumpkin pie here. And then there's a piece that fits inside of the pumpkin pie here. And then there's a little 1/2 inch strip that's going to go on the inside that we're going to put dimensionals on to hold up this fancy fold. So let me just start by adhering my designer series paper to the layers of pumpkin pie. And I really love this cute little birch. I love birch. We have a birch out front, and it's just one of my favorites. Sometimes it's kind of drippy. Birches tend to have a lot of liquid come out of them, so it's kind of fun though.
Mhm. They're pretty. We
They
had them
drip,
at the
yeah,
old house. The
yeah,
old house,
they
we had
drip.
them out front. Mhm.
And so before we do this card, all we're going to do is we're going to score it. Actually, we're going to just take our scoring. I think it's easier to do it this way. We're going to keep it flat. We're going to score it at 4 1/4. Okay, and then I'm going to, I did this for you, but I'm going to grab the folder and I want to show you how I took this folder and I wanted the birch to run this way. And I just took it, I used the scoring line. Can you see it right there? Yeah,
Mhm.
I use that as my guide and I'm going to put it in my folder just up to that scoring line. Now, if I take my paper, because I'm going to be running it through, I'm just going to fold that under and run that through. And then what I'm going to get is a piece that looks like this. Okay, so I folded it, I scored it, I ran it through, had this underneath, and then it comes out, and this is my card front. It gives it a little texture. Then I'm going to bring in my scoring blade again, and I'm going to score this front at 2.5. So it's 4 1/4. I'm going to score it at 2 1/8. 2 1/8. That's half. All right. Yeah, 2 1/8. I don't know why. I guess it's been a while. And then this will be, I recommend that you do your embossing first and then your scoring, because if you do it the other way around, it kind of tends to flatten out. You lose your score line. So that's the reason I'm saying that. So now we can go ahead and adhere this piece of pumpkin pie right
So
to
is this
the.
considered an easel card then?
This is an easel card. This is an easel card, but it's just a little bit different than some of the easel cards. Well, it's the same but different. I don't know how to
Okay.
explain that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll definitely be an easel card. So then this piece will go on here, but you're only going to glue it onto the bottom so that the easel will pop up just like that.
Nice.
Okay.
Pretty.
And so before I put it on here, I want to take my Cajun Craze linen thread. And I remember I was complaining about it being curly. One of the things I didn't do, and I like to do, is just take my fingernails and pull it like that and see it straightens it all out. So I'm not fighting
Mhm.
the curl. And I should have done that before, but I just was just fighting the curl.
Sometimes I like the curl though.
I
Sometimes
like
I
the
think the curl
curl.
just gives it a little bit something, but
Yeah,
that's a really cool technique though to just take like, if you don't have a fingernail to do that, you could do it with a bone
oh yeah,
folder or against the non-cutting side of your scissors, like use
for sure.
the back part of your scissors to run it against.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's for sure. Before I even got a bone folder, when you first start stamping, bone folder might not be the very first thing on your list. We used to
Mhm.
use the back of our scissors. We would just
Mhm.
burnish our folds with the back of our scissors, which is perfectly acceptable. So I just wanted
Mhm.
to put that on there so that it was up and I wasn't fighting. And then I am going to place it on here, but I want to do a little bit of stamping, and I probably should have stamped before, but the nice thing about having it like this is I can bring in my early espresso ink and I can put it on there and see exactly how much room I have. So I know that I'm going to have to stamp this almost all the way down, and I'm going to stamp it as close to the center as I can. I might be a little bit off to the left, but it's not horrible. And
Mm.
it just says thinking of you always. Oh, and before I put this away, I'm going to also stamp on the inside of my card. Again, a couple pussy willows, just like this, growing. And then, of course, on my envelope too, just like that. It's an easy way to decorate. While you have your stamps out, I always don't always remember when I'm on camera, but while you
Yep.
have your stamps out, it's always nice to just stamp your inside and your envelope to match. And usually that's our last step is usually says stamp your envelope and your insides to match.
Mhm.
And that's just a hint to make it all be pretty. Because don't you want the postman to see how pretty your envelope? I
Absolutely.
I think you do. I'm gonna put the inside in. Are you timing me? Can you see how fast this is going? I think it's
It
just
is going
going
very
so
fast.
fast.
I'm actually very impressed because we have done cards where you're like an hour in and we're still
I
on
know,
card number one. So I am very impressed. We're
I
still
know,
under like a half an
I
hour. You
know,
are
it's crazy.
kicking it, girl.
So here's the little half-inch strip, and I'm doing this one a little different than the one that's in the tutorial, and I'm going to show you why. I'm going to have this popped up because this is what's going to hold my easel. So I stamped my front here, and on this card, I'm going to put the paper way up here. So it's a little higher on my, whoops, I didn't mean to go all the way to the edge there.
Did you use dimensionals on that
I
or
put
just tape?
there's dimensional. You definitely
Okay.
need dimensionals because they've got to have something to pop up. And what that's going to do is when you get your, let's just go ahead and put that on. I'm going to use the Stampin' Seal Plus on this. I'm only going to run some Stampin' Seal Plus on the very bottom. And because I don't want to go over my part that I'm going to fold. And I'm going to center the two sides and I'm about a quarter of an inch from the top of my card right there. I'm going to press down. And then when because you have that piece of paper there, that will hold your card up. The first one, I actually sent that one to you, Betsy, so I don't have it right here, but I had it down here and it's pretty too. But I liked having the piece of paper up a little bit higher, and then you can put your little message here
They
and
could
that way the
see it.
person can see it.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go ahead and I stamped and pre-cut this little bird here, and let's go ahead and color it. So I've got a couple colors here. I got more than a couple, but got some wild wheat, which I really love. I went with the pumpkin pies, a little Cajun craze, I think, dark Cajun craze, and some pecan pie for the branch, the little branches here. And then I actually have a little light seafoam because I wanted my little berries to not be necessarily red. I wanted them to just be a super light little sea foam. And I don't know why, I just did.
You can make it whatever color you want.
Yes, you can do whatever color you want. I'm trying to decide, do I want that to be? Yeah, I like that. Okay, so I'm going to start with my light wild wheat, and I'm going with the theme of the pumpkin pie here, and I'm going to do his, because if you saw all those birds that I put out on my desk, in reality they're not really true colors. I've not seen a pool party bird in my neighborhood anytime. So yeah, that's okay. And then I'm going to bring in the light pumpkin pie, color his little bird breast. And then I'm just going to do a little dark where these little hash marks are that the artist put in. A couple, I'll do his little, maybe I better do his little feet. And I realized that I'm going to do my branch in pecan pie, but you can just do it as you go. And then I'll do my branch in the brown.
Pretty.
But like I said, you could take this. So I've got my bird done here, but you could easily take this and bring in, hold on, I've got so many choices here. There, you could bring in any of these and they would work, I think. You could bring in this, you've got a little blue here. You could bring in this blue. You could bring in this yellow. There's actually two birds that are the same. Oh, I don't know that I have them here. I had them here a second ago. They actually face each other that are both the same. But you could bring in the red. I mean, this is the same. This is the same type of, cuts out. This cuts out with the die. So, but I'm going to use this. I'm going to put it a little dimensional. And gosh, we're done almost. I'm just going to make sure I'm putting it down. I'll give you one other tip. I'm not going to show it, but one other tip is that if you are using the designer series paper, and because this is a fancy fold, I can go up. I don't want to go too high. This is 4 1/4, so I want to make sure I'm staying. Whoops, hold on. Let's get that out of the way. I want to stay within. I can go a little. My envelope's just a smidge bigger, but if you're using designer series paper like this, you could actually cut some basic white out of the just white, and then you can back it if you feel like it's too flimsy. So that's just a little tip. I say it's perfectly fine the way it is. Then let's add some gems, and we are done. So I put the gems aside in a safe place. Here they are. Isn't that always the way it is?
Always.
And I definitely want to use these darker Cajun craze ones, and my paper piercer is not here, so I'm going to use the tip of my scissors and just add a few. I think I'm going to go right here on either side of my greeting to highlight that. Thinking of you always. And there's my second card, and it just stands up like that. So it's a fancy fold, but it's super easy. See how that just folds and it'll sit right on your desk. I know our camera angles aren't always great, but I think you get the gist of how it does. I just think it's so pretty. I mean, he's out in the forest, and there
both of those cards are fantastic. Yeah, I mean, it's you think of like winterly treetops, and we think, oh, it's got to be like Christmas. And the nice thing about this set is that it's not Christmas. There's not a Christmas greeting in this set.
No, there isn't, and it's all about winter, and we're getting to, it's just we just had the beginning of winter here a couple days ago, so yes, we're getting into that. So these are the great cards for just to warm someone's heart during this cold month. So that's my two cards.
Pretty.
Are you ready?
I Okay, so my two projects, one of them is this card, and it's a little bit of a fun fold as well.
I was
And it's
gonna say,
called,
I think that's a little fancy fold you got there.
that's a little fancy fold. Look at me learning. Look
Look
at
at
me.
you.
You can teach an old dog new tricks.
That's
Look at that.
that's really beautiful. Yeah.
So I think, and you named yours, and I was thinking, oh gosh, do I remember what mine's called? Is it a gatefold? I think it's a
Dutch fold.
gatefold.
It's a Dutch fold.
Dutch fold. Thank you.
A
Jeez,
a gatefold is usually two sides come together, and that one they call a Dutch fold. I
it's a
believe.
Dutch fold card. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. So super cute. All right. So let me show you what we had in this packet. So what we have is a 5.5 by 4.25, and that's just going to be the card base. So that's the base. And then we have a piece that's 8.5 by 2 3/4. And this one is just going to be folded in half. You could score it if you wanted to.
Is it
For
gray
those that know
granite?
me, I'm, huh?
Is it gray granite or smoky
It is
slate?
gray granite. Yes.
Mm.
Yep. It is gray granite.
I love
So
gray
I'm just
granite.
scoring that in half, and that's going to create the Dutch fold part that's going to be attached to the bottom of the card. Like two pieces. That's it.
Lovely.
Super easy, right? I am using the same Birchie Designer Series paper, and that's going to go right up here at the top so that it's on the back of my Dutch fold. So I'm going to use some liquid glue here and put that right up here. That's centered. There we go. And that piece was like 3x4. I love 3x4 with Designer
Yeah.
Series paper because then you can use the whole sheet
Yeah,
if you cut
that's
it 3x4, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
There's a piece of Pool Party that is 4 by 2 3/4. And then there's going to be 3 pieces of basic white that I'm giving. One of them is 3 by 3.5, and that's what you're going to use to actually stamp the birds and die cut. But there's 2 pieces that are only different by 1/4 of an inch. Do you see that?
Yes. Just on
Right?
one side, right?
Just on one side, correct. So it's 2.5. One is by 4 and one is 3 3/4, because one of these is going to go together with the Pool Party for the front. And one of them is to go inside here for your card base. You
So
see it?
just make sure you're matching it up before you're doing your gluing. I think that's pretty
Correct. Yep.
straightforward. Yeah.
Exactly. The larger one's going to go on the inside. That's going to be the 4 by 2.25, and this one's going to be 3 3/4 by 2.5, and that's just going to be for the front piece. Okay, so
Yeah.
they are slightly different. Slightly different. So let's go ahead and stamp our image here. So I am using the double, the 2 little birds together here, and I'm using Memento.
I honestly thought that was the Designer Series paper. It's colored so beautifully. It looks just like it. So really that one's totally interchangeable, isn't it?
Exactly. And that's why I did it that way. So I am not as good as Mary Ellen is with the whole like bird color thing. So
Well, you
I
just
am doing better. Like I have bird feeders at home, and I'm learning the birds and all that, but she is much better at it than I am. And sometimes I don't know about you, but sometimes I have difficulty coloring, right? And I know I have some friends who cannot color outside. Like if I were to color these purple, they would just not be able to do that. They're like, there are no purple birds in the world. What, I can't color a bird purple. So I tend to be like, I might not color it the way everybody else might color it. So in this case, I thought, you know what? Why recreate the wheel when Stampin' Up has already told me what to color it? So why not color it exactly the way they did? So maybe you didn't get the Designer Series paper. Maybe you used all the back of it for something else, and you don't have that piece. Well, you can still recreate it just by stamping this and using the same colors. And that's what I did.
That's perfect. Yeah.
So I am using copper clay. That is going to be for the stem. And what I did was I came in with the dark on this, and I just kind of hit like where the artist kind of gives you those hash marks where it might be a little bit darker, where there's shadow. So I'm just kind of bringing in the dark copper clay there. And then I'm going to bring in the light to fill in that branch. And I'm not worried about too much shading on this. I'll worry that a little bit more about it once I get to the little birdies, but I'm just doing it just to get that on there. So that looks good. And then for the berries, I did go with the dark. I have cherry cobbler, and I am going with the dark cherry cobbler, but I wanted there to be a little bit of light to them, right? So some depth. So I'm actually just like, I color like a circle. So I make like a circle. Can you see that? And then I just color that circle in. I do not go the whole way to the edge of the berry. I allow like that space around it to almost give it like a shade of light. So if I'm not coloring it exactly in, I'm not worried about it because you might have light or shadow that's hitting it. So I just like kind of draw a circle in the center of it and then color that in. Easy, right?
Yes, very.
So that it gives it a little bit of dimension, I guess. And that way then they come together pretty quickly. Because sometimes I don't want to go to the edge because I'm afraid I'm going to color outside of the edge. So
I
just
see now.
go
I
off.
see now. Yes, that looks good.
Right?
Yeah, you can see.
A little frost maybe on them. They have a
Yeah.
little bit of frost on them
Yeah.
maybe.
Sure.
All right, and then I'm using Pool Party and I'm using Peach Pie for the coloring. So I'm going to come in with a little bit of light Pool Party first here, and I'm going to color in, and I'm kind of just casing right off of what the designer paper has, which he has a little bit of blue around the head and then on the wing here. And then I'm going to do the same on this little guy. And I'm going to do the wing. And I'm going to do the tail. Bring in the dark. Maybe add a little bit of shading. Right? On the top. I just kind of squiggle. Doesn't have to be perfect. And then I'm going to bring in my peach pie. And I'm going to just add a little bit around, like under the wing. Right there. Just a little shadow kind of. Now I want it to blend in, and this is where I'm a big fan of the color lifter. The color lifter to me is just one of the best blending tools. I use it a lot. So when I want to blend this out, or I don't want a harsh look to it, or I want to just lighten it up a little bit, I'll go over it with my color lifter and it just kind of blends a little bit, or it makes that not quite so sharp. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it softens it.
Right, softens it, right? So I'm a big advocate. If you don't have the color lifter, I'm a big advocate of it. I think that it just adds to give you that shading that you might want underneath it without a harsh line. Okay.
Yeah,
and I'll bring in the dark peach and we'll do their little beaks. Cute, right?
Yes, I wouldn't have guessed it was peach pie. I really like it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really pretty, right?
It matches the paper perfectly.
Yeah, doesn't it? I'm like, I'm like, hey, why do I want to fuss over this and fight myself and try to recreate the wheel whenever I can just copy what Stampin' Up does? Stampin' Up's done the work for me and have made a really pretty project. Why not just copy it? So you're going to take your die and you're going to cut that out. And through the magic of television, we have this little guy already done. And then we're going to start to put our card together. So I'm going to use my memento again. And I'm going to do the thinking of you always. I'm going to put this down towards the bottom of this front piece here. You stamped yours so perfectly straight. I'm like, ooh, look how straight she got that.
I think you did a pretty good job yourself.
Sometimes I get it and sometimes I do not. All right, so that's going to go there. These are going to go together.
One thing I'm noticing about these cards that we've done this month is that we've only used like one ink pad.
Yes.
I think that's pretty cool.
Yep. It makes it nice, doesn't it?
It sure
All right,
does.
this guy's going to go on here. Now, it's going to have some action to it, so you could use just regular glue to put this on. But because I'm going to be using this in my next project, I have it here, so I'm going to go ahead and use some tear tape on here. Just because it's going to be having a little bit more movement. Seal Plus would also work to kind of give it a little bit more strength. When you have any kind of action or movement card, it can't hurt to add just a little bit of extra stronger adhesive to it. So when you're working with this, just give it a little burnish, and then you can use take your pick tool or your, there we go. Come here. To grab that scissors work too. And then I'm going to line this up. Now, what I do to line it up is I tend to put both cards flat on the table. And then I'm holding my fingers on either side. That way I know that it's flush at the bottom and then flush at the side. Instead of trying to go this way with it, if I go this way, it's a little easier. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. That's a really good
So
tip.
that I'm guaranteed that it's flush down here at the bottom.
Yeah.
Right? So there's my fold. For the inside, I went ahead and I stamped the little bird that Mary Ellen was using there. I stamped him for the inside. And I also stamped him on my envelope. There. And then I colored him in. It's the same concept of what I colored here. You can see it here. Okay.
Yeah,
so you can color him in as well. And you can see it on my envelope there. So this piece is going to go on my card front. Now, just like what Mary Ellen was doing with her card that it goes over the top, you don't want to put adhesive on the back of this because you'll seal it shut. So like she did, she was like, okay, well, I'm going to use my finger as a guide. So I'm going to line it up and then kind of put my hand here to see, okay, this is the bottom piece where I can add my glue. All right, so I can do it right there. And then again, I just come in and center on the front. There we go. So that only that piece is attached at the bottom. And then for the birds, I'm just going to go ahead and use some dimensionals on the back. I think it can go over, it can kind of cross over because it's still in the center. You might see a little bit on either side, but I think I'm good with just those two. Actually, I think I will add a third one down here. And you could do any of those. You could stamp this, color them any color that you wanted to. I was also looking at, if you changed this up, if you wanted to do a Christmas card with it, you could easily change out the colors. So make the base garden green and make this layer here cherry cobbler, and then cut out these cardinals, the male and the female, and easily put that right there in the front. And it's the same card. You just have different birds. Change out the color and it's change out your greeting and you're good to go, right?
Yeah.
Right. So then the last thing I added for this were some rhinestones. I did a couple little rhinestones on here just to give it a little bit of shine. So I did one here, little guy there. And these will be, if you got the packet, those will be included in your packet. Okay, and there's my card.
I love that.
How cute, right?
You doing a fancy fold.
Yeah. I'm learning. Well, what you want, fancy fold. Woohoo! You ready for the second one?
Yes.
You ready for my second project?
I
Okay.
can't wait.
Let me clean this up a little bit. Let me get rid of all my stuff and get it out of my way before I stick my hand in something I'm not supposed to stick my hand into. All right. Throw these blends out of the way. All right. So the second project is, it is very much a fancy fold. It is this cute little bag. It's a little
I love
gift bag. And the nice thing about this, by the way, is that
Mhm.
cards fit in it
I know.
perfectly.
I
So
know.
you could go ahead and
Well,
give like a set of gift cards to someone, and you can put it right in this little bag and it's ready to go. How cute is that?
super cute.
And this is going to go together pretty easily. So if you got the designer series paper in your pack, this piece is going to be 6 by 12. Okay, 6 by 12 is what this piece is. So that designer series paper, it kind of comes like mirrored. It's got this side and this side. So we want this is going to be like the bottom of our box, okay, or a little bag. So 6 by 12, and then we're going to start to do some scoring on this guy. So I'm going to bring in my score. You can also do it with a paper trimmer. I am a big fan of the scorer, so I'm going to bring this in. And with the 12-inch side along the top, we are going to score at 4.5. Now, when you're scoring with a stylus like this, there's a large end and a small end. When you're working with designer series paper, use the larger ball end because you don't want to rip through the paper, and the smaller end will dig in too deep. So you want to use the larger end when you're scoring designer series paper because it's thinner. Cardstock, you can definitely use that smaller end. So I'm going to come over here to 4.5, and I'm just going to lightly score here. Okay, 4.5. And then I'm going to go to 5. And then I'm going to go 5.5. I'm going to jump way over here to 10. I'm going to go ahead and do, let me get that. Let me do 10.5. And I'm going to do 11. All right, so let me say those again. That is 4.5, 5, 5.5, 10, 10.5, and 11. And then I'm going to turn this guy. And depending on how you do it, this is the bottom of my bag. So I'm going to score at 1 inch because I want a 1 inch down this side. If you had flipped your paper the other way, if you'd done it this way, then just score at 5. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Easy so far. Everybody's good, right? Everybody's good, good, good.
Mhm.
All right. So we're going to go ahead and give our score lines here a little burnish with our bone folder. And this one I know is going to be my, like the gusset part. Is that what you call it? The gusset part of the bag. So that's why I'm kind of making that like an M, I guess, or a V. So I'm going up, down, up. See it? And I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to go up. And then the next one's going to go down. And if you didn't get it that way the first time, don't worry about it. You can always easily fold it the other way. And then up again with the next one. There we go. So that is going to become the front of my bag. So there's my front side. There's my back side. And you can kind of see already how this is going to come together, right? I feel like, am I too close? Do you need me to back up a little bit?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, everybody can see okay? Okay.
Yeah,
And then
I haven't missed anything yet. As long as you're holding it on your desk when you're doing your scoring, I think it's perfect.
okay. All right. I'm going to go ahead and give this little bottom 1 inch a fold here so that I have this. Now I want to trim up the bottom so that I can start to create my box. So you're going to take a pair of scissors. Let me grab my paper snips here. And I'm going to start with, I'm going to go from the back only because I think you can see it a little bit easier from the back. And what I want to do is I'm going to cut up on this score mark here and on this one here. All right. And then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to do the same. And the same. But what I want to do is I want to miter these a little bit, I guess is the way to do it. Miter, what do you call it? Do you call it
Yeah.
Giving it just a little bit of an angle.
Yeah.
Cutting a little like carrot kind of piece out of there. It'll just make it a little easier to fold it to get some of that extra card designer paper out of the corner of it, so that now you have this. Do you see it?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, it looks good.
Now, while this is down, what I want to do is I want to add a little bit. Actually, the next thing I want to do is I want to do some hole punching. Now, I'm bringing in an old retired tool called a Crocodile. Some people might still have this in their crafty rooms. A standard hole punch will work as well. Crocodile just is going to work pretty well for me because it's got some hole punching on the side. So I'm going to, and this works pretty well if you actually kind of bend that out and put your sides together. So put your sides together like this so that when you punch the holes, you're guaranteed that they're going to be on the same, at the same place on both sides. So this is the top of my bag, and I'm going to slide this in to about there, I think. And I'm going to do a hole punch here. And I'm going to slide that over. Doing this on camera is not exactly easy. I think that's about right there. And I'm going to do a hole punch there, so that I've got my holes at the top now. Got it?
Yeah.
Okay. So I have my holes. I have my bottoms mitered. I'm going to go ahead and bring in my tape, my tear tape. And I want to put a tear tape in between these two holes. And I'm going to show you why, because when we start to work with our ribbon handles, we're going to need that tape right there. So I'm going to do a little bit of tear tape right in between those two holes right there. Okay, and then I'm going to come down here, and this is going to be my bottom flap for my bag. So I'm going to go ahead and add in a piece of tear tape down here, because I know I'm going to need that later when I go to seal the bag to put it together. So I'm going to add it there. So I have it here, here, and here so far. With me?
Yes.
All right, now we're going to flip this guy over. And what we're going to do is this is going to be where we end up sealing our bag, is on this side. So I'm going to add some tear tape here as well. And I'm actually going to put two pieces on here because I really want this bag to kind of hold together. So I'm going to put two pieces of tear tape right there. All right. Now I think I'm ready to go. So I'm going to take these pieces off. And if you kind of put the bag down like this, like, so if I take the gusseted side and I put it down flat, this side actually should, I think actually it's this way. There you go. If I go like this, if I keep it open, see how that's open on that side? And this side is also open. If I keep them open, this side will come down and should meet up with it exactly. You can guide it a little bit just to make sure that it's flush. But there is the side of my bag, and there are my gusseted pieces there on the sides, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's good? All right, so then we're going to fold in our bottoms. So I'm going to fold the flaps down. This one you have like a little bit of an extra flap. Sorry, that's like way in your face. Woo, woo, woo. All right, so I'm going to fold this down a little bit, and then this piece is going to come down, and then that piece that has the tear tape is going to come down over top of that to hold it. You see it?
Yeah.
Pretty easy, right? So I'm going to
Like
take this piece.
Magic. Yeah, that's really good.
Right? Okay. So this guy is then going to be flush right there. And I just kind of put my hand inside my bag, give it a little burnish, make sure that it's really sticking in there at the bottom. Okay. So there is my bag so far.
That's pretty easy.
Pretty easy, right? That's not bad at all. Now we have given you, we're using the basic, it's the, what is this called? Bordered ribbon, and it's in the basic beige color. And we're giving you two pieces. They're 10 inches each. And this is kind of easy because, well, I probably should have done this first, but that's all right. You'll get the hint. You'll get the idea. So what I want to do is I'm going to feed this through here to create my handle. So I'm going to peel off the inside piece of that tear tape, and I'm going to push this through, and I'm going to take it to the point where, make sure it's kind of going flat, and I'm going to bring it in and I'm going to adhere it right to that tape. Do you see it?
Yes.
So I'm adhering to the tape, and then I'm going to bring this side in, same way.
It seems so much easier than trying to tie a little knot inside.
Exactly. And wait, I have even a better trick for you for kind of making that even easier to see. Sorry, I probably should have done this before I sealed the box. But then you see here where that ends. I only want to take this one right to where it matches it. I don't want to overlap. I just want them to kind of meet up.
Oh, okay.
And there's my one handle already. Okay. So that they're just meeting up in the inside of the bag. Got that?
Yeah.
Okay, so then I'm going to turn it over. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. So I'm going to tear off the paper. I'm going to come in from one side. I just kind of fold the ribbon a little bit in half, kind of grab a hold of it, just make sure it's flat. And then I'm going to adhere that to the tear tape that's in there. Okay, bring this side in. And also, I think this works well because then I know my handles are going to be the same size, because I know that it's 10 inches and I know that they're meeting right in the middle, so that these two handles, one is not going to be longer than the other. They are exactly the same size. Do you see that?
Yeah, that's brilliant.
Right? Now, I want to reinforce that a little bit. I can't hear you, Hunter. You still there?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, I think maybe I'm getting an echo, maybe.
Oh, okay.
Maybe not. All right.
Well, that was a brilliant idea.
To reinforce this, what I want to do now is I have pieces of Pebble Path that are 4.5 by 1. And I'm going to use this to reinforce the inside of my bag. So I've added some tear tape to the back. And I'm going to just go in from the sides here. And if it feels a little tight, go ahead and give it a little trim. If it didn't measure quite right or it feels a little tight, feel free to trim it up. That one actually needs even a little bit more trimmed, because it's in the inside of the bag. It doesn't have to be exact. And that's going to fit right on to the top. Can you see what I'm doing? It's going to fit on the top of my bag, right over top of where the ribbon went. And I'm going to give that a nice little burnish. And there's the inside of one side of my bag.
It's
and now
nice
I know that
yeah, it makes it clean. It's a nice clean look, and
exactly right. So I'm going to do the same thing over on this side. I'm going to go ahead and peel off. I'm going to come in.
I'm just saying, I'll be making a lot of these.
The box is so easy to do. It's so easy to put together. It's a half sheet of designer series paper. Anything that has kind of like that little design on it. We get so many of those papers that it could be like scrapbook papers that have like the two different designs you could easily do. And I'm gonna just put that one went a little cockeyed there, so I'm gonna try to fix it. Excuse me while I go off camera here for a second, just to kind of fix that. There you go. Yeah, it's the inside of the bag. Who cares, right? So I'm going to give that. Now, if you wanted to, if you were going to put something like pretty heavy on this, I might take another 4.5 by inch piece and put it in the bottom.
Yeah, I wondered about that. That's a good idea. But I mean, just to hold cards, I think it'll be fine. But
yeah, if it's just holding cards, I think it's fine. But if you had something a little bit heavier or weighted in there, I would take another 4.5 by 1 and put it in the bottom just to reinforce the bottom of the bag.
Nice.
Okay. So there's my little bag. Now I wanted to add a little tag to the bag. So what we've done is we have included, this is the hexagon punch. We've gone ahead and pre-punched this for you out of the Pebble Path. And I'm going to go ahead and bring in my Crocodile again And I'm going to add a little hole punch at the top of that so that I can tie this onto my bag. Now I've also gone ahead and I have a piece of basic beige that is 2 1/4 by 1 1/4. And this is going to be for the greeting on the front. Okay, so I went like this. Now I went ahead and stamped mine already, sending thanks and so much love. And I embossed mine. The funny thing is that when I originally did this, I embossed it with the birch folder, the one you were using. So that's what I used originally. I don't know that you can see it very well on there,
Yeah.
but that's what I used originally on my design. But on this one, I ended up using the timber folder, which is a little bit more of a dense wooded look. So I have the timber folder on this one.
Okay.
I don't think it matters which one you use. And then this gets glued right to the center, right here. And then we gave you some scrap early espresso and scrap basic beige. And that is to cut out the stems and to cut out, which I was calling these little buds. I was not calling them pussy willows. So now I learned something new today. That's a pussy willow, just in case you didn't know that.
I have
I
one
didn't
right
know that.
outside, so
I thought it was just a bud of some sort. Now, because the designer paper, I like my things to match. The designer paper, if you look at it closely, has like that little pink shading on the little pussy willows. So I'm bringing in my Pretty in Pink Stampin' Blend marker, and I'm just giving a little shading on the sides of those buds. Right?
Yeah, it looks really
just
neat.
Like that. Just trying to mimic what is on the paper. Like that. Then this guy is going to go over top. Actually, it comes down a little bit. It kind of lines up so that it's like the stem to each one of those little buds. You see it?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to add just a little bit of glue here. Remember that a little bit goes a long way. You do not need a lot. It's not like it's going to be twisted or moved around a whole lot. You don't need a lot of it, just enough to kind of tack that together. Come here. Kind of like that. And I'm going to do the same thing with this one. And have that one on here. Come here. I'm all thumbs today. I don't know why. All thumbs. I think it's because it's like Christmas and we have all these other things going on. I'll tell you the truth, I haven't done a whole lot of stamping lately. So my fingers are like, I don't really, like getting used to getting back into the groove of things.
Yeah.
I'm going to add these guys to my tag.
It really dresses it up. It really
Doesn't it? It just kind of gives it a little bit. Now, I actually probably should have stamped this a little over to the left, given myself a little bit more room over here on the end, but I think it'll be fine. If you're doing yours at home, try to stamp a little bit more to the left. You'll give yourself a little bit more space. And in this case, you know what? I am going to use a glue dot because I think it'll be a little easier to put that on there. So I'm going to use a glue dot right there. And a glue dot right here so that I can put one there and then just have this little guy overlap a little bit, kind of like that. And then I brought in, and you can kind of change this up, make it your own. On this one, I used the blue, the navy kind of thread. This one, I'm going to use the Cajun. I'm going to go ahead and tie a little bow here with my thread. Ooh, that one didn't work. That didn't work. Let's try that again.
You didn't do the bunny.
I made it so short, I kind of shorted myself here.
You're usually the bunny ear girl.
You know, with linen thread, I find it easier to do this. Ribbon, I definitely am the bunny ear girl. I do the bunny ears with ribbon, but with linen thread, I find it easier just to do it like my shoelaces, right? To create a bow and then just go from there. I'm going to add this right there, like that. My pussy willows are all kind of bunched together with a little bit of twine. So I'm going to add that there. And then this guy is going to get tied on to my bag as soon as I can hit that hole there. And I'm just tying a knot and then trimming off any extra that I have. Just make sure you're kind of flush down here with your ribbon. Tie a little knot. Oops, wrong scissors. Wrong scissors, need my ribbon scissors. And there is my tag on my bag. Look at that.
That's nice.
Isn't that cute?
Yep, it sure is.
And you can easily, yeah, any of that paper, you can make that the front if you want to make that the front. There's no right way or wrong way to do it. And it's only 6 by 12, and you just score and cut and trim and add it, right?
Yeah, it's great. I'm going to be making a lot of those.
Yeah, super easy, super easy. So those were my 2 projects. So yeah, we both had projects that were not that hard and super simple. Neither one of us, by the way, used the stamp that was in here. We didn't use it on our projects, but it was this swag. So I wanted to show you a project that I did make using the swag, just so you can see it.
Oh,
so what I did was I stamped the
you
swag.
sent me one
and
of those. I was looking at the other day, and I think I was telling my friend, I'm like, this is one of my favorite cards. I absolutely love that card.
Isn't it pretty? It's so pretty.
That's
And I think I used the birch folder on that. And then it's, you know, that's the bird from some of the other designer series paper. And I just colored in the swags and then made them into a cute little wreath. So there are lots of things. And of course, decorated the envelope to match. Of course.
Yeah.
And I think I even did the swag in the inside too.
Yeah.
Cute, right? So there's lots you can do with it. Winterly treetops, very super cute. If you have not gotten these in the mail yet, and I think the ones that I know the ones that I sent out for my mailers people have started to receive them. Mary Ellen, you do the mailer too, right? Have Stampin' Up mail them out?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So you should have received these. If you did not receive them yet, please reach out to one of us. We were happy to get a set out to you. This is the new January to April mini catalog. This is going to be your spring catalog. Let's see if I can bring that in a little clearer for you. Isn't that pretty?
Gorgeous. The
it's
colors
such
are
a pretty
beautiful.
catalog. Oh my gosh, there's so much in this catalog that I love. I'm not allowed to open it for you yet. I'm not allowed to show you inside yet. Yeah, as much as I want to be able to look, but I can't, I'm not allowed. But I do have some product here that I'm going to show you. Also, we are starting Celebration. Now, Celebration starts as of January 7th and runs to February 28th. Celebration is where if you order $60 worth of product, and the price did increase a little bit this year. It's the first time in like 25 years that they've raised that amount. It is $60 if you buy $60 worth of product from anywhere, the mini, from the last chance, from anywhere, $60 worth of product. You will get to choose something out of here for free. And again, I can't show you the inside, but there's some really cute stamp sets. There's some embellishments, ribbon, paper. There's like 3 different kinds of paper in here. There are also some level 2 items if you do 120. There's some level 2 larger items you get to choose from. So Celebration is a fantastic time. It's also a fantastic time to join us. If you are looking at getting a discount, or you are looking at what we do and you love what we do and you want to get some product and get it at a discount, or join one of our teams and our communities, this is the perfect time to do that. There is an excellent deal and Celebration, and you'll see that in the catalog. There are 2 different options, and we'll talk about it more in January when we see you for Stamp It Your Way. So hopefully you join us again in January. Would you like to see what we're going to show and do in January?
I think we should definitely show.
We should definitely do a show and tell, right? Okay, so here is the stamp set. Look at the little critters.
So
Oh
cute.
my gosh, I adore this set so much. These little guys, now they're kind of small on here. They're actually bigger in here. See them? So they're a little bit of a bigger size. We've got some chipmunks and some bunnies, and we've got like a little stone fence. Welcome, little one. Thank you so very much, hello friend. Happy spring, Easter greetings. Some bunny loves you. I love that one. So that is the stamp set. There are dies that match it. There is this gorgeous, what are they calling this? The Timeless Plaid 6x6. And this is what we're going to be including in next month. You're going to get a packet of this designer series paper. So you can see that there's like two sides here. Beautiful
I'm in love
ginghams.
with this paper.
Isn't it beautiful? I mean, I'm all about the gingham and the plaids.
Yeah, me too.
Right?
The colors, everything about it. Yes, I've already used the heck out of it. I mean, I've only had a short time and I haven't really been stamping, but this paper I've really chomped into because I love it. That color right there. That one right there. Oh, hello. So it just yells spring. It just yells spring to me.
What is it? That's kind of like a coral, calypso coral, and a little old olive, maybe?
Yeah, just a little light. It's springy.
Just a
It's
little
just everything. Yeah, pretty. Yeah.
nice little shade.
I love plaids though.
Yeah, there's so much here you can see. So there's a ton of colors. So yes, you get a packet of this with it. But I do want to show you also the larger designer series paper that comes in this suite, because it is a whole suite. And this one, oh my gosh, I'm so in love with this. I cannot like stand it. It just is. I'm dying. I'm just dying. Look at how adorable they are. I mean, I see fussy cutting all in my future. Look, this one's reading a book. Look how cute that is. Sorry, I can't stop. I just can't stop. So there is this gorgeous paper.
The colors are so pretty. The colors are just so beautiful.
Yes. Well, there's a whole nother bundle that comes with this. There's a garden bundle. So it's all like garden themed with little vegetables. And look at the vegetables. Aren't they cute?
Yeah.
So this, you might actually, if we use some of this paper in our, on our cards, we'll actually be sending you a little bit of this paper along with it, just so you can have that to be able to put your cards together. The other thing I like about this is it comes with these pre-cut images. Look at that. You can easily just pop those right up onto a card.
Look at that little guy in
project.
the teacup. That little guy in the tea. Is that a little teacup there?
He is a little teacup. Look at him.
So cool. Don't
Isn't
use
it
that
cute?
one. I might have to use that one.
Right. And then I love this where it's like you can cut this out and use this on the front of your card. This little chipmunk here. Oh my gosh, look how cute he is. I'm sorry. I can't. All right. I'm stopping. But yes, so we are using this suite. Storybook Friends is the Storybook Memories, I believe, is the name of the suite. Storybook Friends is the stamp set we're using, and there also is another whole nother stamp set and dies and embellishments and all kinds of things that go with this suite. So we are going to be using this for January, so you can sign up. We open up registration January 1st. It goes to January 10th. That's when we close it, and then we order everything and we start cutting and get everything out to you, hopefully before the end of January, so that we then post this video on the last Wednesday, the fourth Wednesday of the month, and that way you can see our projects and what we're doing. So hopefully you will join us again.
Yeah.
Okay. How about that? A little better?
I want to show you. I want to show you a project that my friend gave me, and it uses the paper that you just use on your box, and so it's another 3D. But our mutual friend, Missy Shipman, had shared this project with me, and I shared it with my friend Linda, and she made me this little album, this little keepsake album. And oops, I just bumped my ribbon, but it has clear envelopes in it, and so you can fit. You could put your cards in there if you wanted cards, or you could put pictures in there, photographs. But I mean, Come on. Isn't that
Super. It's
cute?
so pretty.
So cute. Oh, this ribbon is retired, but the I'm gonna have to fix that because I kind of had it
A
backwards.
little bit
But
of,
it's a cute little idea, and it's just a
mhm.
fun. We're gonna be doing this project in my club here in this winter. So
You could put
yeah,
like embellishments in there, little piece
oh
of
yeah,
embellishments. You could do it as
oh
a
yeah.
little, it's a great little album to give as a gift, especially this time of year.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, it'd be perfect.
Mhm.
But if you want to like carry around some of your favorite cards, and when someone says, hey, what have you been doing? Hey, I've been working on these pretty little cards. I have them right here in my
So,
bag.
and here, let me give you one, right?
And here, let me give you one. That's
Random act of
perfect.
kindness, giving out a
Yes,
card.
that's right. That's right.
Mm. Well, we thank you very much for joining us this month. We hope that you have a very Merry Christmas. If you have not subscribed to our channels, please do so, so that you get a notification anytime that we post a video on our YouTube channels. And of course, we are on Facebook, so be sure to follow us there as well. And we are very happy to be spending this holiday with you, and hope that you had a wonderful Christmas, and a happy new year, right?
Yeah.
2025.
Sure. No, is that possible?
Hard to believe.
It is.
All right, everybody. Have a great day.
Thank you.